Hello everyone, Berserkhead here, and welcome to this video in which I'm going to be talking about Total War Arena, and I'm also going to be showing you some gameplay for the game. So yesterday the NDA was lifted, and that means that we can now make as many videos as we want about it, we can stream as much as we want, and we can talk about it. I didn't expect that because the game is still very early in development, but I've had access to it for I don't know how long, honestly a very long time. I was probably one of the first people that got access to it. I guess that's kind of lucky for me, but yeah, I was one of the first people that really were able to play the game, and I haven't played it for that much, to be honest, but the more I play it, the more I really want to play it. And yeah, so first of all, I want to talk about the live stream event that was happening a few days ago, in which they kind of showcased the game and showed like real gameplay footage for the first time. So basically, they invited a bunch of YouTube personalities to Cologne, Germany, I think is where it was. It was organized by ESL to kind of spotlight the game. And I really, when they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna be, showcasing the game, like showing you a live stream and gameplay footage of the game. First time they announced it without, knowing all this information about the YouTube personalities, I just thought it's gonna be something really boring, like two guys just streaming the game, making like really retarded jokes and just, extremely boring stuff. But no, the way they made it was absolutely amazing. I loved watching the event. It was made like, the game was presented as an esport. You had an analysis desk, you had hosts, you had team captains, interviews with the captains. It was amazing. And most of those people I know, Jesse Cox was one of the team captains. I love his videos. I've been a fan of his for the longest time, maybe like 3 years since I've been watching his videos. Lionheart as well. I don't watch his videos, but I know who he is, and I know many of those people, which is normal because I make Total War videos. Most of them make Total War videos as well. So yeah. But anyways, and yeah, I also knew some of the people from ESL, like one of the casters, and the host as well, Sean Charles, I think, is his name. And I know him because I watch CS, and the biggest CS events are organized by ESL as well. So the event was really good. The only thing that was lacking was the casters weren't very good, especially one of them, this demon guy. I really dislike him. He casts CS all the time, and he just doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's kind of the same with Total War Arena. It's just really clear that he has no experience with real-time strategies and any game for that matter. I mean, he makes like the same mistakes when he casts CS. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. Like he don't know words like javelins, spell tests, and stuff like that, and he's hard to cast the game. It doesn't matter. I'm just rambling here a little bit. But yeah, the event was great. I really enjoyed watching it. Unfortunately, Jesse Cox's team lost, but still, it was a pleasure to watch. And I hope that they're gonna do more stuff like that in the future, because I really want to see a Total War game in the esports scene. And I doubt that's gonna be Rome 2 or Attila, just because the multiplayer is kind of lackluster, especially in Attila. The multiplayer is really boring, and I guess Total War Arena is the game that could achieve that. But yeah, let me talk about the game itself. So I have played it for, let me actually go on Steam and check how long I've been playing the game for. So according to Steam, I've played the game for 5 hours now, which is, I know, not a lot given how much time I've been able to play it for. But the game is in very early alpha, and when I got access to it, it was even earlier on and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyways, I really enjoy the game so far. Basically, if you haven't heard of it, you have 10 people versus 10 other people on a really big map. Each of them controls 3 units. There are different generals, different units, there are upgrades and all that stuff. So it's basically Total War, but it's only multiplayer, and the whole gameplay mechanics are a little bit changed. So for example, your units don't just charge, but you gotta give them an order to charge. They have many more abilities based on your general, and there is much more detail. It's like, it's just like the battles are more detailed. So for example, line of sight is much more important, terrain is much more important, and the good thing that I like about it in general is that when you have 2 people controlling 30 units each, their micro is not gonna be great. Like, no matter how good they are at the game, their micro is never gonna be perfect. But when you have 10 people controlling 30 units, everything's gonna be moving all over the place. The battles are gonna be much more dynamic, and there could be much more strategy involved. And of course, I like the team play element. Coming from a background where I've played CS at a competitive level, which is very much a game in which you can just go and like kill 5 people every round and just win the game by yourself. That's kind of the same thing. You cannot just have 3 units and kill 30. That's simply impossible. So you gotta rely on your teammates to win the game, which of course has its disadvantages, because sometimes you get retards, which according to me is the biggest problem right now. Sometimes when you play a battle, first of all, I was playing Germanicus. That's the first general that I started leveling up. Now I'm actually playing as Scipio, who I enjoy way more. But when I was playing as Germanicus, I would usually lead the melee charges, and I would fight on the front lines. And there would be retards from my team that would just start bombarding me with artillery, or just start shooting me with their archers in the back. And that's a really big problem right now. I mean, I don't mind friendly fire. That should be a thing that exists in the game. I just don't think that in matchmaking like this, it should happen as often. I mean, I had like 3 matches in a row because I lost half of my units due to friendly fire. That was really unfortunate. I know, I guess it doesn't happen to everyone like that, but it was still kind of retarded, to say the least. So I think that the thing that the game's lacking, they're obviously gonna add many more generals. They're gonna add more factions. They right now I think they have 2 generals that are under development right now, 2 Golic generals. And they're gonna add Golic units and stuff like that. So that's all great. The game obviously needs that. It obviously needs more cultures, more generals, more units, all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna add it, because recently you didn't have access to the higher tier units like tier 9, tier 10 and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna add all of those things. But here's my personal thing that I think they should add. So right now the matchmaking is basically based on the rank of your general and the tier of your unit. So when you go to matchmaking, you're gonna get matched with people that have a general, or that are playing as a general that's relatively close to your rank, and they're using units that are relatively close to your tier. That's all good and fine, but there also should be some sort of a ELO or MMR system in place. So let me give you an example of what that is, if you don't know, because you might not play games like that. So the ELO system is something that exists in games like Counter-Strike or League of Legends. So basically, if you win, you gain ELO, you get matched with people that have more experience, and if you lose ELO, and you get matched with worse people. And the MMR system is pretty much the same thing. It's just it's in Dota 2. And yeah, it's kind of the same thing. So I'm not a huge fan of the ELO system, because it relies solely on whether you win or lose. And that's a team game, so you might just get matched with really shitty people and lose, or just get carried by teammates that are like way better than you are. So I'm not a fan of that. But I think that they should implement a system that is sort of similar in the way it works. What I mean by that, so there should be set some sort of an average score, because every time you play, based on the actions you do, the casualties you inflict to the enemy, you get a certain amount of points. And I think there should be a number of points set that's like the average, based on what people do. And if you go above the average, you gain ELO, and if you go below that, you lose ELO. Once again, I don't think that the fact, whether you win or lose should be considered when it comes to gaining or losing ELO. But I think that there should be some sort of a system placed like that, because once again, it's really annoying. Sometimes I would play and I would kill like 4 or 5 units just by myself, and then as I charge someone, I would get mowed down by my my team's artillery, and it happens quite often. And I just think that you should get matched with people of your skill and not your experience, which is the case right now. So that's kind of my criticism to the game right now. But have I been enjoying it? Am I looking forward to playing more of it? And do I like it? And more importantly, is it pay to win? Let's start with that. Is the game pay to win? Because with CA, that's always a concern for everyone, because, well, everyone who's played a Total War game knows what I'm talking about. Shogun 2 multiplayer, according to me, was pay to win, and all the DLC milking and stuff like that, you would think that if they make a free-to-play game, which is what Total War Arena is gonna be, they're gonna make it incredibly pay to win, since a lot of those free-to-play games are sometimes pay to win. You know, I like free-to-play games just because they're free and you have nothing to lose if you just go and try them out. And this is almost always what I'm doing. You know, when there's a new free-to-play game that everyone's playing, I just go and try it. It doesn't matter if I think I'm gonna like it or not. I just, you know, go and try it out. So, yeah, is the game pay to win? At its current state, no. Well, the first factor in there is that you can't really buy gold at this point right now for real money. And basically there are two resources. There's silver and there's gold. Silver is used for replenishing your units and stuff like that. Then you have experience, which you use for upgrading your units and unlocking new units and unlocking general abilities. These are all things that you cannot buy. The only thing you can actually buy in the game, which you can't buy right now but you will be able to buy in the future, is gold. And gold is used for converting experience. So you have free XP and you have unit XP, and sometimes you can convert unit XP to free XP, which is very useful, but it doesn't cost like tons of gold. Yes, it's, you know, uses some of your gold to do so, and sometimes it's really necessary to do that, otherwise it gets really grindy. But you can't really, you know, you can't really abuse that because it doesn't take too much of your gold. It's actually really fair in the way it works. Other things that you can buy with gold are skins or just different colors for your units, which once again is purely a cosmetic thing, so I'm perfectly okay with that costing gold. And also there are a couple of units here and there that cost gold as well. So you might ask, are those units better, and does that make the game pay to win? Not really. So far what I've experienced, I've bought two units I think that cost gold. One of them is a cavalry unit, the other one is a archer unit. So the way it works, or at least the way I think it works, is if you actually pay gold, you're gonna get access to those units earlier. If you just wait for it a little bit more and you level up your general and you unlock higher tier units, you're still gonna get access to similar units. But if you buy those units with just gold, you're gonna get access to them sooner. They're not the same unit, but they're a similar unit that you get earlier. But they're definitely not, it's definitely not pay to win. They're still, if you buy a low tier unit, it's gonna be good for this tier, but if you go to the higher tier, since the unit cannot be upgraded, it's not really gonna be that powerful. So I don't really think that the game's pay to win. Yes, there are some units that you can buy with gold once again, but these are a very limited selection of units, and they're decent, but they're not better than the rest of the units necessarily. They might be if you're really early on in this tier and you haven't unlocked any of the other units. They're useful. They make your life a little bit easier, but they're not exactly pay to win. And yeah, everything else you buy with either experience or silver, which well, you can practically buy silver. There is really no particular reason to do it, because you can actually convert gold to silver, I think. But the only thing you buy with silver is like you can replenish your units, and you buy generals as well with silver, and you get plenty of silver. Especially if you play well, you're gonna get tons of silver, and you're gonna end up like stacking silver instead of you know, not having enough of it. So the game is not pay to win at this point. Sure, they can make it pay to win, but I doubt that's really gonna be the case. And yeah, I like the game. I really enjoy it. I'm gonna be showing you a lot of videos, I hope, because I'm really enjoying the game right now. And yeah, I've been waiting for the longest time to, you know, show you some gameplay footage and stuff like that. But the game is still in alpha. It's very early in development, and it's actually a good sign that they're, you know, allowing us to show gameplay footage and talking about the game that early on, because obviously they're looking for player feedback. There have been forums, they have tweaked a lot of things based on feedback by the players, and that's all great. These are all great signs, and I don't think they're gonna mess it up this time. Yeah, sure, there are things that you know, some people are not gonna be okay with. You know, some people just don't like free-to-play games, and if you don't like free-to-play games, that's not gonna be right up your alley, because once again, it involves grinding, and it's, you know, the more you play, the better you're gonna get, and you can get access to everything straight away, which is not what people like. And if you don't like that, well, you're not gonna be enjoying this game. And yeah, it just requires a lot more content. Once again, more generals, more units, more maps, maybe more game modes, although the current game mode is pretty cool as well. So yeah, these are my thoughts on the game. Gonna be showing you some gameplay footage in the future as well. Gonna be showing you some multiplayer battles. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.